Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Tuesday, the 28th of November. Now, while I would normally do my videos in the morning and then release them in the afternoon, this one is slightly different. Now, there is a very good reason for this, because this, I don't think, can't wait. And if I don't get this video out, it's going to sit in my head and it's going to fizz and fizz and fizz and make me angrier and angrier and angrier. And I hope after hearing what I have to say, you also too get quite angry. It's, as I have said, the 28th of November, which basically means Omid Scobie's book Endgame has come out. Now, while there's been a lot of press over the last week, drip feeding information, Omid Scobie saying, you gotta read the book, you gotta read the book. This absolutely blows everything that he has ever said before out the water and could seriously land him in huge trouble. And when I say huge trouble, I mean literally treason. Well, not literally, but it's on those blinking same lines. Now, in an interview a few days ago, Omid Scobie said that he has talked about the royal racist debacle. You remember when Meghan was on Oprah and this whole who's the royal racist row? I've spoken about it many times on my channel. And it now transpired that Charles wrote to Meghan and Meghan wrote to Charles, and they had a little bit of a back and forth with regards to letters, apparently, and that Meghan told Charles who was the now two people that were supposedly have had a conversation with regards to Archie's skin colour. Now, Omid Scobie sat on telly in an interview and said that he knows the two names, but he cannot reveal the two names for legal ramifications in the UK. Well, it turns out, and I actually can't believe I'm saying this, that a publication of Endgame in the Netherlands, so a Dutch version of the book, has been published, printed, sent to stores, that differs from the one that the rest of the world has got. And in this Dutch version, the name is used. That's right, Omid Scobie uses who one of the two, the royal racist that is claimed by Meghan Markle, is. Now, that is polar opposite to just a few days ago when he sat on TV and said, I'm not going to name them. It's not named in any other version of the book. And in fact, publishers are now scrambling to get these copies back from the Netherlands to stop all sales in the Netherlands because their version of the book names one of the two royal racists as King Charles. That's right. Omid Scobie has accused King Charles as being one of the two royal racists. This bit of text, which I'm just about to show, is translated from Dutch, and it is from Endgame by Omid Scobie on page 128. And it says, the translation says, during their conversation with Oprah, both Harry and Meghan declined to say who was present. At that conversation, a representative for the couple only wanted to say that it was not the Queen or Prince Philip. I think that would be very damaging to them, Meghan said. Remember her saying that to Oprah? Oh yes. But in those private letters, an identity was revealed and confirmed. Charles. The King, sources say, wanted to respond to make clear to Meghan that there was no ill will or bias when he spoke about his future grandson. He wanted to clarify something he felt was very important, said a royal insider. And there's no hiding this. You know, this isn't just a social media kind of twittering going on. It's now hit the media. The Mail are saying Omid Scobie's book names the royal racist. Sales of Endgame are dramatically halted in Holland after Dutch translations appear to reveal identity of family member accused of speaking about Archie's skin colour. So, what would have happened is that this would have been in some form of draft, and it either hasn't been taken out and then sent to a publisher on the Dutch side, or it was left in, clearly, for a reason. But there is no getting around this. Omid Scobie, who is the book's author, has named King Charles as one of the royal racists that Meghan Markle mentioned in her Oprah interview. And this can of worms cannot be closed. You cannot say that this is a translation error. They chose to put it in regardless. And you can see this is the Dutch version. It is there. Charles. This is not something that's been translated incorrectly. It is not an error on the translation part. It is an error of the author and the publisher. Just how much trouble do you think Omid Scobie is going to be in now? Now, I don't for one moment think that the king will ever address this publicly. At all. I would be very, very surprised if any statement comes from Buckingham Palace over this. They are remaining stoic at the moment, and officials from Buckingham Palace are just referring it to just another royal book. But behind closed doors, any hopes of building bridges and reforming relationships, I can imagine, is well and truly over now. Omid Scobie would have been provided this information. There are only certain people that would have been privy to letters between Meghan and King Charles. And Omid Scobie has got this information from somewhere, and he has well and truly burnt all his bridges. Now, interesting theory. We have the fact that Omid Scobie has named King Charles as one of the royal racists. Will Harry and Meghan speak out? Because Harry has already said, my family is not racist. He's publicly said that. We all saw those words and heard those words coming out of his mouth in the interview with Tom Bradbury. It was all over the news. We are not a racist family, and my family are not racist. That's the first one Prince William said, second one Prince Harry said. Will they then come out in support? Because they themselves expected the royal family to come out in support. Will they then come and say, actually, Omid Scobie, we don't agree with this. This is wrong. You shouldn't have done that. That was our private information. Remember, Meghan doesn't like her private information. She sued the Mail on Sunday for publishing parts of her father's letter. I would say that this grossly goes beyond that, in my honest personal opinion. Will they then come out and publicly distance themselves massively and shame Omid Scobie? And if that happens, will then Omid Scobie say, well, actually, this is all the information that you provided me? What are you going to say? Because they did have something to do with it. Maybe not directly, but Omid Scobie himself said that he's got information from their friends. Meghan and Harry's friends have spoken to Omid Scobie. And you think that Harry and Meghan haven't given their friends the nod to speak to him? Absolutely ridiculous to think otherwise. And what blows my mind is that this is all over a normal conversation that people in biracial relationships have on a daily basis. Everybody in biracial, or most people in biracial relationships, wonder what the colour of their child will be, wonder what the genetics will be. I'm so angry at this. I really, really am. Other people are saying that this was completely intentional. Was it intentional? Is this the whole plan all along that, hey, let's just publish it in the Netherlands. Let's let the Dutch version name who one of the royal racists is. And then we'll just pull it. At least the name will be out there after all. Withdrawing copies from the Netherlands and just literally swiping them all, the damage has been done. It's completely useless to do that now. The name is out there and it is flying around social media and the general media worldwide. Just like to point out that the Royal Rundown did an amazing tweet and they said that Dutch law is not favourable at all for a party accused of defamation, especially if it's against a public figure. This is actually one of the worst countries where it could have leaked. And of course, as expected, Crazy Days and Nights, which I often refer to, NT, who runs the site, has said the leak of the name was planned. The author wanted to get people talking in the hopes they will purchase the book. There is nothing in the actual book that hasn't been said before. Now, I'm going to go into the book in greater detail tomorrow and on Thursday as well. And once I have finished reading the book, I'm actually going to do a live, my very first live. So that's going to be interesting. It will just be audio, it won't be my face. I don't do that. I don't like to do that. I would be very uncomfortable to do that. So I thought I would just go live and talk about my thoughts and have a little discussion with everybody about what the book is full of, which is absolute and utter tripe so far. What I can't get my head around is only a few days ago, as I mentioned, Omid Scobie said himself that he couldn't name those people involved because it was illegal to do so in the UK. Now, he's done it, but he's done it in the Netherlands. I'm going to say this very clearly. It is not a translation error. The name is there in black and white, and I've got this copy of an actual book, not a screen that could be manipulated. It is from the book, and it is literally there. Charles, he has been named. What are the legal ramifications for this? I have no idea. But it's got to be serious because, like I said, Omid himself said he couldn't name the person. So why on earth was it in the Dutch version? It's not a translation error. It is actually there in black and white. I would just like to reiterate Harry's famous words that the leaking and planting of stories is a dirty game, and this is an extremely dirty game. So I'm going to ask you one question before I end this video. Was it an error or was it done on purpose? As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.